What?
Hello, SEGATHON 7, SegaCrew, and all the Sega maniacs and fans out there. Welcome. My name is DBcade, and we're going to get right into it. I hope you have your snacks out. I hope you're ready for a great event. This is the Sega Pico, and let's go ahead and run some Peter Pan. So I'm going to get right. There's so much to talk about in the Pico today. So as we watch the little opening here, I'm going to explain some of the backstory behind the Pico, and I want to do a quick shout out real quick to Booster-san and Grim-san for their help. Booster Shane especially, because they stayed up with me trying to get the Pico to work. Pico emulation is notorious for being difficult to work. I have tested every single Pico game. I can tell you there's about 5 to 10 titles that work, and none of them work perfectly. All right, and after this opening, we're going to start here. Everyone kind of knows the story of Peter Pan. And today we are doing actual hardware, right? You can see the book. And I picked out one of my favorite entries, Peter Pan, which is reissued for the 10th anniversary of Pico. The Sega Pico was actually made in 1994, but it lasted all the way to about 2008 and 2009 for some of the last games. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Peter Pan walks in the house, and our very first RNG already starts in this game. We're going to open the window, and our shadow is going to disappear off to somewhere. Where, oh where could it be going? I didn't see. Okay, we got the best RNG. The shadow was in the chest. So now, Peter Pan's gonna check it out. Oh, did it move? PB Pace. Could be. It could be today. A little confused right now because I could have sworn the shadow was behind the dresser. But Peter Pan seems confused. Huh? No, I'm confused now. Wait. Did it move somewhere? It's not under Wendy's bed. Okay. Off to a good start with the Pico. Let's go ahead and... Oh, that's why. Pico freeze. I was like, that doesn't make sense. I've hit all the locations. No, the Pico has frozen. Okay, so with real hardware, it is sometimes very likely that the game will actually freeze. The good thing is we're at the very beginning, so we'll go ahead and pop open this door again and see where the shadow goes. And I'll try and be a little bit more gentle with my press. There are times that I will use the buttons, and there are times there I will use the actual pen in this game. The scanner here also tends to usually read well. I've replaced the actual the screen over here. Yeah, it's behind the bed. Okay, come on now. There we go. Okay, I don't know why that. I could have sworn that's where it went last time. So we beaten the very first in here. We're going to do our first little tech skip. And I'm sorry for some of the bad exposure here on Peter Pan, but Peter Pan has some of the best sprites and best mini games. I wanted to show it off first. One of the things that makes the Pico very unique as well is that there are tons of ways to play the game. So if you don't have a screen, you can actually play without the power for some of these books, and they have their own set of mini games. And so this one, the interesting about this game is there's actually RNG in it. You can choose which location you want to go to in Neverland. And in the beginning one, you saw that the shadow can, Peter Pan's shadow can go to different areas. So you can, last time before I was practicing this week, it went into the table a whole bunch of times. Peter Pan seems intelligent as Pac-Man too. Oh gosh. Alright, so everyone kind of knows this story of Captain Hook. So I recently found out that if you choose this stage first, that it changes the RNG of the Lost Boys stage, where we will go find the Indian tribe. As they float on over here, and this minigame starts right away. Oh yeah, okay, we got the good RNG. So we're gonna go ahead and skip a ton of this minigame by just throwing ourselves in the water. You're not normally supposed to do this, but you know, I don't know what quality control was like for Sega Pico. A little mistake there. Okay, we did a little skip to fall down this hole. We're gonna walk through, and the entrance should be here. And then we've already gotten to. This is probably the fastest pace I've gotten to get to the Indian section of the game. But before we do that, we have to do Peter Pan's mission coming up here. So the original reason I started collecting for the Pico, by the way, was one, because there was no emulation whatsoever for this game that was working, and it was rather frustrating. And there's a large amount of anime games for it that were coming up in my research. Okay, thank you, Hook, for resetting me. That's actually what I wanted. Where is Tiger Lily? There she is. Okay, go ahead and find Tiger Lily. This actually may be PB. So this is completely RNG. Sometimes you'll start from the top left, the bottom right. It's completely to the game every time you load it, which is why this actually feels like a complete game. Some of the games have true stories that you can complete from start to finish. Others don't. Third page. This one's really quick. We just hit the drums and we can skip all the other like little mini games that you can do. So this one we have to basically match what Tiger Lily is doing, and this is just kind of showing off the sensitivity of the stylus, because you can actually mash it and it knows if you're mashing, and it remembers the position that you're staying. So like you want to, oh, I'm not doing good. I was supposed to walk up and do a dance. No, walk back down. Too much mashing. We want to hit about, I think it's 20 is what our goal is. And the music should be changing. Nice. Okay. Very good. 28. That's about what we want. If we get 30, they kind of dance in the air, but it doesn't really matter. For this game, you don't necessarily save time on that screen. There is one scene that we're going to be trying to save time on coming up. But yeah, so because of the difficulty of emulating this game and just the the fact that this game was not cataloged well enough. Working with some members of the retro historian groups here in Japan, I kind of took it upon myself um, to get this game, and then of course it's an excuse that I can speedrun it. This one's a little fun. We can just instantly skip to the next page. If you hit the dagger on this on that guy right when he throws it back, you can get 10 little points. It's a little fun. Alright, this one's lots of mashing. One kind of unfortunate part about the Pico that I'll just tell everyone about right now is that there's a lot of wear and tear on the machines. So getting a decent machine now is rather difficult, especially one that doesn't have, messed up buttons. I actually did repairs on this one myself just because the system itself, this is the last version of the Pico that came out, and it's better. We just saved a bunch of time. Sorry for all the mashing. I'm sure they might just Pico degree confirmed. Yeah, I can't believe those kids didn't take their care. They were just, drooling on the system, and who knows why. I mean, when I show the commercials after this, everyone will get a good idea of the demographic they were going for with the Pico system, and Sega claims the system did really well. Of course, this was at a time when they weren't releasing like full numbers of what they were actually selling. All right, this is the final section of the game where we have to defend against Captain Hook, and it's basically a QTE. Any good game wouldn't be complete without a QTE, right? And this is where kind of making sure that you have clean buttons is important, because if you don't, you'll end up getting a button stuck, which it is possible that can happen. Oh, one more hit. We just got to go to the guard phase real quick. Guard. And final attack. Nice. Now the rule for Pico is that when it says you can turn to the page 5, and then you turn it, that's when time stops. I did this, kind of came up with some other members because that's the most fair, and because games like this actually have RNG and a story, an actual story to tell. I'll play one later that might be, hard to explain, but that is GG on our first game in the SEGATHON 7 Pico Spotlight. So, I wanted to focus up and open up with that right away, because can I draw today? Yes. Can I draw today? Okay. G. Okay. And let's go ahead and here, the Indian town here, and I'm going to show something kind of funny off that you can do. This is so every Pico game, right? Oh, I would say not every Pico game, but 99% of the Pico games are going to end with a drawing scheme. That was kind of the big selling point of the Pico system. Was we're gonna trap so they don't walk back. Okay. It's kind of cruel, but I found this out and I just can't get it. I can't get over that you can do this in the game. That you can infinitely trap everyone to just keep walking. And the path they take is random too. So the more spirals and twists and turns and things like that, the more they'll walk around. You can get them trapped up in other areas. You can add little clouds and things like that. But yeah, that was kind of the big selling point, was the final art screen of the game. So you would play a game, and then at the end you'll go to the art screen. And I can say that from having a daughter now, that her favorite thing to do when the Pico opens is play the art screen. So they knew they kind of hit gold with that. And every art screen is completely different. This one is kind of like in your own like custom island maker, which is, you know, pretty cool actually. I think this one has. I mean, I love the sprite work. If I'm gonna keep talking because you're gonna see that this one actually has a complete day and night cycle too for the island, and you can add all sorts of like volcanoes and things like that too. It's really actually pretty nifty, and that that was the bigger selling point. And I'm before we go into all the commercials and why the Pico might have faded out and become such an obscure console and really a forgotten console in the Sega's life. Um, I want to just maybe touch on some other points for the console. So one other thing about the Sega Pico is all of them have this like little tab here and tabs. These are expansion ports that were never used. The only ports that will ever be used for Pico consoles are on the actual carts themselves. There'll be a little attachment here. And yeah, you can actually buy replacement pens and switch them, but this actually comes out. And you can open up a little switch here and go in and fix the cords pretty easily. So it's overall pretty easy to repair and not too stressful to open up. You do need a special screwdriver for the actual Pico carts themselves. What else? The screens. This is completely replaceable. I can take out this yellow screen, and there's actually a default blue screen that comes with it. So if people get tired of looking at this color, I can change that out. They had custom ones that would come out sometimes that were given away at special events or stores. The good thing is it's a cart, right? So carts are easier to clean. Always the issue is the condition of the console itself. So today at SEGATHON, I'm only going to be running the Sega developed and produced games. So that was kind of the rule I set myself up for today. I didn't want to. Otherwise, the Pico library, I think it's like over 200 games. It's actually quite, I think 250 something. I have to check, but it's quite a bit. And there's re-releases too. Like I said, this is the 10th anniversary one. Some of the other titles, they also got re-releases and commercials in Japan. So I guess night takes a little bit longer to get to. But yeah, if you have any questions, yeah, we're live right now, but later, on the SegaCrew YouTube, definitely post your questions there. I'll try and get to them. My goal for this is to give everyone kind of an introduction to the Sega Pico, as much information as information overload. Think of this like as a panel, a showcase, and a bunch of speed runs on top of it. I think that the Pico is a very important system in Sega's life, and I'm going to touch on that too. One of the reasons is because of the deal that they made, of course, with Disney. So the amount of Disney games I could possibly be running today is quite large, and I would say that over half my library is just Disney games, and then the other half is anime games, with maybe like a small percent being, original IPs. It is RCA out. Yep, it's RCA out, and that's one other thing I wanted to talk about. So, and I'm gonna quote Grimson here. He said the Sega couldn't read a data sheet when it came to video encoders, and through his help and actually somebody, a couple of other members who go to RTA in Japan, I want to give a shout out to ND San at the top of the stream. because he's the other person who's collecting and Pico, and usually we're, you know, we're calling each other on the phone when we find something that's worth picking up. Um, and so what we found out was that the problem is that the Chrome signal coming from the Pico is not an NTSC spec. So the only, oh, there you go, there's the night cycle. I just think that's so cool. Like this game might be one of the first that has like an actual, you know, night cycle, maybe outside of like Populous or one of those games for the Genesis. So that's this game. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over. I want to show off some stuff, and we're gonna show off some trailers. So let's switch over here, and I'm gonna mute this audio. And so this is the main Pico commercial. But so for my birthday I got a Pico. So the funny thing is, this song is like, everyone has a Pico, you know, you can learn and play games at the same time. You know, it was actually all the commercials. That's kind of like the Pico theme song. And then the joke online is that, but no one had a, like, I don't remember any kids when I was younger having a Pico. But, you know, a lot of people, when I was streaming and coming up with the game list, which, by the way, thank you everyone for helping me decide out of the Sega library what we were going to run today. I really appreciate that. It was nice to have the feedback. But more than that, you know, determining how to sell the Pico must have been a nightmare for Sega, because I want you to watch this.
Excuse me, I just want to turn your TV off and turn you on to the power of your kid's imagination. This is Pico from Sega. You know, Sega! It works with storybook software. And this magic pen. Touch the storybook and images come alive right on your TV, interactively. Touch the learning pad, and they can draw, color, they can even animate their own cartoons. Speaking of which, I'll turn your program back on now. See you real soon.
So they advertised the Sega Pico in the US as a storybook interactive machine. Okay, so let's think about this. Books are lame in the States, okay? No kid wants to be told it's a interactive storybook. It is never sold. And the contrast between the Japanese commercials and advertising, which was, hey, Bandai, you can play your games, kids. Like, let's all gather around and play Doraemon or Anpanman or all the things we love. And then you go to the US, it's just like, it's a storybook. You're learning good, kids. Like, it is so night and day that I'm really curious to what the real, you know, sales would have been out there. It boggles the mind. And the US, the North American Sega Pico only had one type. And before I get to that, there was also a very special brand deal with Yamaha. So this was the Sega Pico Coopera. And the Coopera is one of the, think of it like, what is it, the Panasonic GameCube? It's on that level. Like, if you find this in the wild, you want this. It is one of the best ways, apparently. It has the best sound quality of all the Sega Picos. It's really cute too. It's got, this little like icon on there. A very special deal. And some of the best looking quality buttons and things like that. The buttons seem very similar, but you can see the ones on here, they're circular, and the ones on there, they're angular. And overall, yeah, this is kind of more sought after. Now, they would remake the Coopera in a way for the portable, more portable edition of the Sega Pico. in Japan, but that came much later in the life cycle. And here's another reason why the Sega Pico might be obscure in the US. Yeah, they would say that a lot. The system that thinks it's a toy, the learning system. Yeah, did you see that price? $139 for this system. Okay, $149 at Toys R Us. I'm guessing they had more games at Toys R Us. I don't know. That was about the price point. You're paying anywhere from $130 to $150 at that time. We all know what game systems were out in 1994, 1995, and 1996, right? There was a lot of choices at that time in the market. So, Sega had other options. I think that this has just kind of flooded the market. As far as I know, there's maybe like a couple US exclusive titles, but for the most part, not really. So yeah, that's kind of. Let me show off some of the box here real quick of the OG Pico. So you can see here. This is the original version, the blue and yellow one. It's a little bit gaudy, but yeah, this is the original packaging. Absolutely large, large box here. And we'll get to this in a second, but the Pico just has way too many boxes for it. Show off the main system here. So this is the original Pico, and it has this little red button that you can switch and open up. And you can load the game in right into this slot here. Very easy loader. You don't have to slam it too hard. And you can see here's the original blue screen that comes out. You can just take it right on out if it gets too dirty or scratched up, so you're not actually scratching the system. This one has the angular buttons. These buttons are a little bit better. However, the reason I'm not using this system today is this one has more freezes and load issues because it is a little bit older. And it tells you, just in case the kids didn't know, cartridge. You can see that it's RCA out and one power spot and the speakers in the back. And that's it. That is the Sega Pico. A simple system. Sega, at the end of the day, wanted to sell toys. That the toy market is still alive very much in Japan and very strong. And a lot of the reason why that Sega, I think, really did well during this time, and this is kind of the lost piece of history, is that they were able to broker deals with all of these companies to say, hey, you can sell your toys and your IPs on our system. So they had, the fact that they had Sanrio, they had Bandai, they had all of these, companies basically ready to join. The Disney deal is, I can't even explain how large that is. I think that's one of the reasons that Disney games started coming to the Genesis and other consoles is that because of the Sega Pico, because this was in the works. And this, I look at some of the meeting notes, and this brought in, a lot of revenue and a lot of trade deals throughout the years. So let's go ahead and switch games here. We're going to do another speed run. We're going to be running Hello Kitty Tanashi Budokai. Not Budokai. It's not the Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi. You can see, by the way, the carts here, I forgot to load the image for the US cards, but the other unfortunate thing about the US collectors is they don't have these really nice Sega Pico cases. They're boxes, so a lot of times, and they're a little bit taller. They're like pretty tall boxes. So collecting for the Sega Pico in the US, it's definitely a a showstopper. But you got to have the shelf space, right? And for the cases, it's pretty nice, but everything on the Sega Pico, it was very large. Like this is bigger than the Genesis case. And, when I think, Japan and consoles, I usually kind of think more manageable. But I guess it's kind of like running along with Sega's theme of like the Saturn was a pretty large system, the Dreamcast actually too. But the Pico was definitely not a space saver, right? Okay, so Hello Kitty. Who's ready for some Hello Kitty? So this is a true storybook game. So I wanted to show just kind of the silliness of this. Reloading. Did not load that time. We've had a freeze and a load error, which is about standard for the Pico, right? So, oh, I think this one loaded. Nice. Okay. Hello Kitty. So time will start once I flip the page. I'll give a little countdown. The real sense of the Pico collector. Yeah. I've been threatened a lot of times to clean up a little better. Oh, what's going on with the there we go. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. We're gonna let them twirl around and tell us that we need to use the pen, the stylus for this. Thank you very much for the good luck. Yeah, these are all first here. I'm gonna try and get world record today. That's my goal. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're capturing audio because we were not just a second ago. And 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Hello Kitty, walk into this town. 今日は待ちに待った舞踏会森を通って行きましょう。So we're gonna go through the forest and get to the castle. And all you gotta do is click. Click one time on a butterfly and you'll skip the screen. Okay. Next screen. 湖に着いたよ。お迎えはどこかな? We're at the lake. I wonder how we go to the castle. Well, guess what? We click on the red strawberries. They're like a theme in this game. Yeah, the Pico has voice samples and really good voice samples too. Sometimes. Good voice samples and great sprite work. Fantastic sprite work. Am I making everyone out there want a Pico? It's definitely gaming. Alright, and with that we'll go to the next stage. And yeah, we're at the front of the castle. How do we get into the castle? This game has a theme of strawberries. That's right, we just mash open the door. So obviously there's a lot of interactive stuff you could do. Waku waku doki doki oshiro te sugoku kirei. Wow, I'm excited. The castle is so big. Yep, open the doors. And walk on into the castle. Now, when you when you play this game normally, you can interact with things, and there's like little mini games and like quiz games that come up too. But all of it's, completely, optional. You're not required to do anything here. Sa, hajimari, hajimari. Minna, isho ni odorimashou. It's starting, it's starting. Everyone, let's dance. Now we sound the horn of this little rat in the corner. And we'll get to turn to page 5, and that will be GG. All right, GG, timer stop. And guess what? That should be world record here at SEGATHON. Hello Kitty world record. Let's go. So now, of course, we get to the coloring page, okay? So we can color whatever we want to. So, and it makes, there's actually feedback too. You're probably hearing it on your end. The Hello Kitty Japanese community can get hype. Sega. So here you go. This one has definitely a more simple layout than the other Sega games. As far as color scheme goes, you can see here it's just kind of a crayon selection. Some of them are more in depth, and all of them always have the option where you can just completely delete everything off the board. Usually there's an eraser. The Peter Pan one didn't, because it's like a kind of the most unique that I've seen where you're building a town. But this is the standard layout where you have pencil, you have paint. This one doesn't have the fill option. And you can even click here to choose different pictures to color and stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, it does have it, Nudu. Okay, so it does have the paint option, so you can do here. And generally speaking, like all of the stuff kind of works the same. If you hold and press, it'll fill it up. Okay, I'm not going to show off baby scribbles. So that is Hello Kitty. So I'm going to go ahead and switch now, and we are going to talk about that. This was an example of the storybook stuff. Like, not everything on here is, on the system is necessarily going to be something that you can speed run, or you can speed run it, but it's kind of like a joke, like haha, like you're doing this. Really, it's up literally a point and click speed run. But the games like Peter Pan and some of the ones we'll run after, they have some merit and they have some cool things to them. The general, I don't know why this system was advertised as just as a storybook thing, because a lot of times they're mini games, or they're sometimes there's barely a story at all. But this one is the standard, Sanrio one to create a story, and it's one of their many games that are on the system. So let's go ahead and switch it off, and we'll talk about the many peripherals. So first, I want to show off what I have here, which is the Pico keyboard. So this is one of the keyboard. Pico was really cool. It works with a specific software, and unfortunately, my keyboard is, for lack of a better words, unalived. It doesn't work. I tried to get it. I tried to open this up and fix it, but yeah, it's seen its days. And a lot of but you're thinking, well, that's a shame. No, it's totally fine. There are so many peripherals for the console that I'm going to go ahead and we're going to switch to the main section, which is all the Pico, well, not all, but a good amount of the Pico add-ons. I actually couldn't put all the Pico add-ons and all the versions because we would be here for over an hour. So this is just a sample, just a little taste of all the Pico stuff you can get. Okay, so the very first Pico one, or one of the older ones, is the Gabucho Tsurigako, which is the like biting fishing school. And it comes here, you see there's a fishing rod. And it actually winds up, you can throw it, and there you go, see the little spot here. This is exactly where you can insert the fishing rod, and there's feedback on it too, and you need it to play this game. If you don't have the peripheral, if you just have the cart, you can't play the game. So there was, yeah, so fishing Pico. Then you have space Pico. Really cool buttons here, okay? I kind of, it's speaking to the inner kid in me. Is there a Tower of Pico? Is there a Pico Tower of Power? I'm not sure. That is a mouthful to say, though. There is, however, this one is, I want to say this is let me pull my list here. This is the cooking Pico. That's right. This one's the cooking Pico. So this here is the cooking Pico. You can actually, it actually makes noises and has feedback, and it's actually pretty cool. And it comes with a lot of accessories. Okay. You have the Itsudemo Isho Doraemon Pico. And this one has a Pico that interacts with a toy accessory that can be found. You have the Tomikar Pico. This one has a whole course that you can build and all sorts of cars and add-ons for it as well. Tomikar is, of course, a huge collaborator with Sega and with the Pico in general. You have Purareru Pico, which is kind of like, the Shinkansen Pico, the bullet train Pico. It's got all the action you could dream of. Definitely. You've got the Oshare Pico. This is basically cleaning up and making things clean and sparkly and I have the software for this, but I don't have the add-on. Kango Fusan Pico. This is the Nurse Pico. You've got the Hamsterland Pico, the Dobitsu Hamsterland. There's actually another animal Pico. So this is the hamster Pico. You got the dog Pico. I think there's a cat Pico out there. You've got the baby Pico out there, showing off one of the later versions of the orange Pico that's out there. You've got the kitchen Pico. Okay, you guys having enough Pico here? You can clean, you can cook, and you can work in the kitchen. Okay, and of course you can drive. Yeah, drive Pico. Let's go. And don't forget, there's another drive version Pico. Let me show this off. Yeah, we'll never be this cool. Yeah, Drive Pico. And Pokemon add-on Pico. Yeah, this one's a whole peripheral. This is one of the most sought after for the system. This is one of those where it's like, this clearly, no kid was studying when they're playing this, but they knew what they had. And you have a mouse for the Pico. Actually, you have several mouses for the Pico. This is just the Ampon mouse with the Ampon mouse pad. And that kid is definitely breaking the system, by the way. I'm just gonna... Okay. Click, click, okay. And yeah, this is the Pasicone Pico, the laptop Pico, a completely different add-on. And by the way, this is all a case that goes over it. So, and it's not light, by the way. That it is actually quite heavy. And one of the bigger ones is most Pico games had this thing you can interact with, which was the Sega Pre-Fun, which is you could plug that in and you could print out stuff from the Pico. So if you cleared the game, a lot of them had like tell your fortune or, you know, do such and such. And yeah, if you did that section of the game, you could actually print out from it. And of course, there is the Sega Dance Pico. Got to get your groove on. And this is one of my favorites. This is on my must-get list. Yeah, so many awesome peripherals for the Sega Pico. There's not enough time to talk about them all, and I apologize, but that is just a taste of how much Pico you can have. And I'm sure you guys notice, right? The boxes, like, just think about this. The box there is just as big as this box, okay? And then, so the issue is, how many toys are you buying for your kids, right? And who actually kept these boxes? So, you know, I'm just looking at it, kind of shaking my head, because it's like, it's so much stuff. It's so much stuff already in the house. But it's really, really great. And so there's one more Pico thing that I wanted to share. And that is the Voice Pico. This was a unique IP made by Packet. Made by Sega. Their character called Packet. This is Yukai no Mori no Paketo. So this one, for the most part, we have to use our voice to control the game. And I'm going to apologize right now to my wife and daughter, and I'm going to be Dad's going to be a little bit loud now. Daddy's going to get loud and hype for some Sega. So let's go ahead and load this up. Start the next run. Okay. This one's intense. So fair warning before we start this, right? This game is very finicky on how it reads my voice. So I almost my wife thinks it's kind of because of my pronunciation, but I swear my pronunciation is near perfect on certain things, and I have said some of the words in this game thousands of times now. But we're gonna get to work. I just think it's the mic. Again, a little bit of an older software, so we'll blame it on the game. So let's get to it. I'm super excited about this one. This is one of my favorites. I think they were going to do more with Packet, because the way they advertised this is that this character was going to come back again. So this is Clown Country. Yes, I'm not reading that wrong. This is Pierre no Kuni. And Packet is a clown. And he's aiming to become an official clown in the country. I guess, so one year before he became a clown, he had to learn a lot of things. And I guess these are Packet's friends here. So you have to learn basically about like caring. Your heart has to be caring and open in order to become a clown. And so the king here is going to give Packet a mission that he has to go. He's going to give Packet a mission here that he has to go spend time alone in winter, until winter, in the forest, by himself. And so Packet will ride his magical hat and go off by himself, all on his own, on this adventure. So our job is to make it through winter. Mori no naka de wa donna bokken ga matte iru no deshou ka? What adventure awaits us as we journey through? And time will start on 3, 2, 1, go. So our first adventure here is to make it out of the forest in spring. So we're in springtime. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and click Packet to kind of activate this. There are mini games that you could do where you can like learn about all the like flower seeds. You can do fast text skip here. So normally I would say tobe, 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 tobe. But I can actually just mash the button here. And the reason I want to mash is I don't want to be mistaken or misheard, because I need all the invincibility frames I can get to make it past these birds. The beak and right above the wings are where the actual hitbox for these birds are, and we only have 3 life because we didn't do any bonus missions. This is actually the hardest section of the game that we're going to do our best to get through here. There's some other sections of the games that are difficult for reasons that I explained, that the game won't hear you, or there might be a wrong press. Yeah, that shark jumped a little bit too high. You cannot mash through this. You have to exactly do a double press on the key on the frame that it ends, or you'll get a miss jump like that. So that was me making it through just in time. I might have mispressed on that. Okay, we're safe, We're going through. You can see how long the stage is, right? And so if you get too low, you'll actually just sink to the water, and then you saw there's sharks, the birds, it's complete RNG on this stage. Page, Natsuda. Alright, so now we get to turn to go to the page, and now we're in summertime. It's SEGATHON 7 time. And the first thing we're going to do is go right to the woods. Get on out of here. So, I'm going to turn this a little bit toward me, because I need to be a little bit loud all of a sudden. So I have to say, the bear wants to wake up all his friends and get them out of the woods for summertime. So we need to be loud. And chat, I need you to say with me. I need everyone in chat to say, "Oi!" Okay? We're going to say right now. Okay, ready? Oi! Okay. We woke up the reindeer. Oi! Oi! You know, Shishi, get out of here, boar. Oi! Chat, I need your help. I know we weren't loud enough. Chat, I need your help. Oi! No, chat, I need everyone's help. Oi! Chat, I'm not seeing oi. I need the ois in chat. Oi! Nope, they got you. It's got to overflow. Oi! Louder chat, louder chat. We got to wake up these animals or we cannot beat this game. Oi! Okay, chat, they heard you. They heard you. I like that. Everyone's in chat. Let's go, let's go. Oi! They're hearing you, chat. They're hearing you. Louder, louder. Oi! Oi! No, chat, we wanna get world record. Oi! Chat, I need the screams. Oi! 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 もう少し。おーい。あ、もう、おーい。おーい。おーい。もう少し小さいな。I am. おーい。はおーい。We had to do a small one. おーい。おーい。おーい。Wake the frog up. Even the frog's got to get out of here. Okay. Okay, chat. Thank you. Thank you for the big voices. Thank you for the small voices. Big voice, small voice. Thank you. We've done it. We're out of summer. Wow. That bear really made us work. He was telling us to use a smaller voice, but I did a smaller voice. And last time I did this, I was screaming and it worked just fine. So no perfect clear this time, but I have a feeling because of chat, we're going to get a PB on the winter stage. That is the big one. Okay. It's time. Fall is here. Autumn is upon us, and we need to escape. Packet here. He's short with words, but he's a platformer. He's a true Sega boy at the end of the day. So normally you can say Ike, Tomare, Tobe, and Gambare if you need to. But you can actually just use the keys on this one, and that's what we're going to do. Oh no. Gambare! Uh-oh. It didn't hit us quick enough. Oh no. We might actually fail this. Uh-oh. I have to play pretty much perfect now. So this one, each screen you have to press forward to walk. Ooh, I'm not sure. Can we get it? Yes, there we go. Nice jump. Got the hops. All right, we're gonna have to walk a little forward now. Oh, we got really good RNG. Is this gonna make it in time? That's the question. I can't tell. It'll say in a second. Yes, we did it. We made it in time. We're okay. It is now winter. We are on the final stage. Okay, so winter, our objective here is we must say goodbye to all the animals before we click on the snowman to clear the final mission. Sayonara. 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 Chad, I need you to say sayonara with me. Sayonara. 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 Alright, the voice is not activating at all. It's not even recognizing. So we're going to click on the animals, try and get some. Sayonara. 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 He's not saying goodbye. Sayonara. 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 さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。さようなら。やってみる？
うるさ
さようなら。Alright, the mic, something is goofy with the mic, because normally I would get magic if I was making a mistake. さようなら。
い。Baby, stop it. I will stop in the screen. I will say it.
Okay,
Just
I'm saying it right.
not hiding to that like
Sa-
stop it.
I'm saying it right. You want to try?
Yes, I will try with
Okay,
hiding.
okay, I'm hiding.
No, you don't.
Yes, I am. It's an event. もういい。来るかどうか。
No.
さようなら。
Which
It's hiding. Yes.
one?
Yeah. Okay.
Your intonation.
It's not terrible. I'm doing it right. It's not even recognizing it. See? Paquetto. See? Nothing. さようなら。
David, what's that?
さようなら.
David, listen to me. You stop this screen.
Should I do more high pitch?
Who are you? Stop it. Stop the like thing.
Okay, you want to try?
Yes. Stop,
Okay.
Stop this.
I did. It stopped.
No one will see.
No, not if you come like behind me.
I don't understand what you're saying.
もう頑張って. I
If you're
can't.
showing that, I don't do that.
Okay.
It's quiet.
Okay.
Quiet.
さようなら。さようなら。さようなら.
David, you're silent, not walking. Even though you said billion times, not walking.
Why? Why is it not working, my voice?
Because your intonation not correct. You just
さようなら。さようなら。さようなら.
David, what are you silent? Not walking. Many times I said that.
It has to work. I'm saying the
No,
word.
You said 50 more.
It worked yesterday.
No, because I told you.
No, I did it on my own. さようなら.
It's intonation.
じゃあ、何がいい?
さようなら。
さようなら. さようなら. さようなら.
Too fast.
Too fast.
No, too fast.
さようなら. さようなら.
No, too fast.
さようなら.
No more slow.
さようなら.
ちゃんと。
さようなら. さようなら. さようなら.
No,
No, it
no,
didn't.
hiding that. What is it? No. It's never. It's never. 本当にうるさい。
Okay, then just try it. You're not going to be in the screen. Come this side. Come this side of me.
No,
Walk around. No, don't touch. What? Okay, じゃあ、ドア閉めてこっちに言っていいよ。
いや、いや。
さようなら。
No, stop it. うるさいね。I'm like, wake up. Stop.
I'm in a live. Oh, no. Hold on. It just picked up the mic, though. And I didn't say anything. So it's something with the mic. Do you want to try?
Yeah.
Then come this side. Okay, you won't. Just come this side. Sit next to me. We're going to see who's cooking. Sayonara. No, we're going to take turns. You. No, seriously, just sit down. Okay, I'm in an event. Sorry, everyone. This is. Seriously.
No,
Just sit.
seriously.
Seriously.
Seriously, too loud.
Sayonara.
Oh my god, you strike keep going.
Sayonara.
Save the point. You signed it.
Then you try. Just to say it already.
It's
Now.
どこに向かって
ここだけ。
どこのマイク
ここ。今から。
さようなら。
What?
See? Yes.
さようなら。さようなら。 Sayonara. You have to do it 5 more times. Wait, come back. What the heck?
It's never walking. I'm sorry for that.
What? No way. That's a fluke. Come back here. Sayonara.
No, you're
It's my intonation. I can't. I was born this way, okay? Sayonara. Sayonara. I can say it like you. Sayonara. 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 Okay, then you try. Try. No, you have to do it. Say it to the bear.
Sayonara.
What in the... No. No. Is it the tone of your voice?
It's walking, right? Total discrimination.
It's like a Pico is racist. No, you have to say it again.
What?
You have to say it. You have to say it again. No, you have to wait now. Now he has to go back. He automatically walks
No,
around.
I can't see it. I don't have a lens, anything.
Okay, say goodbye to the snake.
Sayonara.
What? Can I try?
No.
No. Okay, then say goodbye to the swan. Sayonara. Sayonara. What?
Stop it.
Sayonara.
Stop it.
What in the... Sayonara. 普通に言ってる。Sayonara.
No.
何が違
Totally
う
different. Like intonation is different.
Sayonara.
Right. Sayonara. It's totally different.
Sayonara.
It's
Sayonara. Sayonara. 普通にさよならって言うじゃない。なんでゆっくり言わない。Sayonara. Sayonara. He doesn't listen to me.
So where she say bye? Where? I can't see anything.
What?
When I say bye, say it again. When?
Sayonara.
No, I mean,
What's wrong with the way I'm saying? I'm saying it totally. Sayonara.
No, I can't. Yeah.
Sayonara.
いや、全然違う。
Sayonara.
違う。
Sayonara. Sayonara. Okay, say it. Just say it. Now.
Sayonara.
No, it's too late. Oh, now he's gonna.
It's late?
Sayonara.
John,
Are you,
stop
because you're saying it?
John, wait.
Sayonara. 合ってる?
Yeah.
No?
Can I say it?
Yeah,
When should
you
I
can
say it?
it. Otherwise, we'll be here all day.
When should I say it?
Say it now.
Sayonara.
All right. Well,
Okay, stop it. It's too loud.
oh man. Well, I got it yesterday. There's a video out there of me saying it right. And I got it in 10 minutes. But she got every animal was perfect every time. Wow. I'm so sad. Pico is crushed. Oh man. I told SegaCrew, I was like, it's gonna be the funniest moment of the marathon. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be. You know what though? Hey, this is evidence though that the Sega Pico is really good for learning Japanese, right? Because if it's not perfect, if you don't sound 100, if there's something wrong with your intonation, even slightly, the Pico knows. The Pico knows. But there's evidence out there. Like I still think it's maybe my voice is too deep. I don't know. All right, so that was the easy part. The boulder, we got really good RNG on the boulders, by the way. Really, really good RNG, by the way. Like unbelievable. This is gonna be a world record. It's the best, the best. So this one, you. Excuse me. Okay, I'm normally supposed to. Pico's supposed to Yeah, do the peace sign, and then the bear will come out. That was interesting. First miss. It's not. Yeah, I know, right? This was the check. This is the ultimate. I'm gonna have revenge on this game and try and do that section perfectly in the future. All right, so we've cleared. So normally, if you clear this, if you were to come here and you hadn't said goodbye to all the animals, the snowman says, "What are you doing? Peck it. You've got to go and you've got to say goodbye to all your friends." And so now he's kind of talking, and he says, "Oh, Packet, what have you learned?" And Packet says, "Well, I was scared of the snake and the bear at first, but we've become friends, and so, um, you know, I really had fun with everyone, became friends with everyone." And then the king, the king clown says, "Oh, that's great. So I'll give you this new, I think it's the Pico Pico magic. Yeah, Pico Pico magic." He gives it to you, and then you pass. That means you passed the exam, and now we are official clowns. This is this is such a great moment. Oh, I wanted to do more too. I have so many. I have 3 other soft that I prepared. So he says, "Thank you for playing with us up until now. Um, I'm going to go ahead and give you the Pico Pico magic as well." So chat, everyone here now has the Pico Pico magic. We can all up our game and try and get better at Japanese, sounding better. I did better at this. Other sections are fine. Something with those animals. Maybe they just don't want to say goodbye to me because my voice is low. I'm gonna stick to that. All right, and timer stop. So thank you again, SEGATHON. Let's get the big old GG. I like the snowman. I don't know why. I really love this snowman. He's got that he's got that little dab going on. And we'll do like a star. Yeah. All right. What an excellent run. I'm so happy. Assist from the missus. Um, calling me out. I couldn't have planned that better. That was awesome. So when I did the run earlier, by the way, that section took me 15 minutes to do. So I did it, but clearly the mic on this is it's not the mic's fault. It's mine. So I gotta level up, not just in the speed runs, but in the speaking. All right, so I'll leave this on. Actually, we'll turn off the input and let me throw a couple more things. We'll show a commercial and then I'll kind of close out here in a little bit. I wonder if we can do one more. Yeah, we did Sanrio, we did Sega, we did Disney. Yeah, we can do one more Disney. So let's do that. Let me toss it over. So there are some things that I still don't know when researching for the Pico. So one of the things I haven't been able to find is, I'll show this off real quick. Just move here for a second. Is the Salate Pico. The Salate Pico, unfortunately, is something that's kind of out of my understanding. I don't know what this plugins do. I might not have um, the actual layout for it. And I asked online about it and no one seems to know. So it must be a different Sega add-on. I have to look up the Salate Pico. There's probably a specific cart that plays this storybook. You can see here they have like a Dumbo one. And I got this in a collection. And they were just kind of thrown in there as extra. But I thought it was cool. I figured it out because, if anyone wants to help, you're definitely free to add information, help the archive. All that stuff provides extra information. No one is blaming the mic player. Yeah, that's true. All right. So, show off one other thing. Game. Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to show this one off just because we had some Mickey games in the marathon. But I just wanted to show off the cart at least. And how the manual was always packed in the system. So Pico collecting is not necessarily my goal here. Like I said, I actually think that the boxes are a bit too much. I'm making a catalog, but if there's anyone out there that has additional information, join the SegaCrew Discord and post, boxes, the manuals, the information you have, so we can make a better catalog of the information that's out there. It's a pretty, what's the word? Like, under-discussed topic is the Pico. It's already obscure. We know the system's obscure, but I mean, more than that, it's just not discussed enough. And I wanted to share one thing, which was that my kind of a teaser. So I actually also have a Sega Bina collection. So next year, I'm going to throw the Sega Bina. I was going to do it this year, but I said, well, let's do it in order. So I was going to do the Sega Bina. And the Sega Bina is a console that came much later. It was 2007, 2008. And it plays better. We can actually capture it. The games are really great. They have save states in all of them. One of the games we are going to play later, actually, it's pretty advanced. So the Sega Bina is called the Advanced Sega Pico Bina, And while I play this last Mickey commercial, there's one other thing that kind of happened while I was doing research, and something that just came out in Japan. And that is a new Sega console. I am not kidding right now. There is a new Sega console, and it is called the Pico. That's right. So I'm currently, working on this as well. This is basically the next step in the system, and it also ties in with the cell phone. You can do like a trial run of the game for 308 yen. It seems to be on a service plan. That's the tricky thing about this. So I haven't seen too many actual dedicated software for it. There are some ePico books, but yeah, I haven't even started digging into the ePico. But yes, Sega does in fact have a new console. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this at the end is that this is huge news for Sega, and no one is talking about this. So what this means is that Sega is now at a time where they've, unfortunately, the old Sega Guard closed, they became Gigo. All the arcades closed. But what it means is that they're focusing now on brand deals again. And when that happens, right, that's usually when we get more Sega hardware. And the first Sega hardware to come in days has to do with toys. So the fact that they've launched the Pico now means that we could get a mini Sega Saturn, a mini Dreamcast, or even possibly some other Sega hardware at home if they're making good deals with this. And it looks like they are, because I'm already seeing that they have deals with Yanase Takashi and Disney, and that's huge. Right, Anpanman is huge in Japan, and I saw Sanrio on here. You know, they've got Mr. Pico Pico himself over there. Um, just this is kind of a big deal, and I don't know if it's coming through. Like how amazing this news was to find out through doing this research, but I would not be surprised in a year or two if we have some really cool Sega announcements. I think this is kind of the start of it. So I don't know. Get excited. If it's maybe in next year, I'll have the Pico ready by the time the next SEGAthon comes around. We'll do the Bina, and then we can do the Pico, and maybe there'll be some more stuff, cool stuff to announce. But let's do one last speed run, right? That's why everyone's here. I think we have time. So if you're all down, we'll end with the speed run. With Alf instead. Okay. Disney Princess time. This is Disney Princesses. This game goes hard. Trust me. I haven't let anyone down yet, right? All right. So, 2003 Disney, right? It's not that, in the grand scheme of things, not that long ago, right? And so this is about when the save state system started being introduced. There's not surprisingly enough, a lot of the Sega games don't use this, but this game will actually remember as it's booted on. Once you turn it off and load another game, it won't, but it'll remember where you are in the game and what mini games you've cleared and stuff. So we're going to go for the 100% clear. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if we're ready, let's do 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So first things first, let's go ahead and do the dancing game. And we're going to do countdown difficulty. And here, basically, we have to just collect all the hearts with our amazing dancing. We're at the gala. Normally, if you do like a harder difficulty, you can bump, and there's also a time limit. Go ahead and go down here and get the last heart. This one is one of those where also I was talking about where there's truly, this is not a story game, and the later Pico games, especially a lot of the Bandai games, kind of move away from the story and just became like mini game collections. Princess Point, yeah. All right, this one we're proper gentlemen and ladies here. We all know how to eat and not be heathens at the table. Let's go and have some Niku, and you know what? We'll have some pudding. Some meat and some pudding. So first things first, everyone, what's the first thing we do at the table? That's right. We unfold our napkin. That's the first step in all, not only good eating, but good speed runs, right? Get the napkin out. Hit that spoon. Now, you don't want to eat too fast here because actually there's a penalty for that. You know, you have to eat proper. Count 2 in your head and then have a nibble. Ooh, the meat. What do we need? First, we need our fork, right? And our knife. And let's be proper ladies here. Oh, perfect RNG on that. Sometimes, like when you try and click that meat, you don't get a good result. I don't think I'm eating too fast here. Oh, nice. Perfect. Perfect. Proper manners. And for that, we get a princess point. I don't have to tell you guys, I know what I'm doing here. Offering, gonna be offering princess lessons on my maybe we'll do a SegaCrew princess event. And I'll teach everyone the proper how to get a lady. How to be dapper. All right, so now we can do coloring, and we gotta do her up, you know. Under the sea, still gotta look good. Lipstick, eyelashes. We'll go for the less tacky heart earrings. Yeah, this one. Modest is best, boys. All right. I think this is acceptable. So now we're gonna wave our wand and get our princess point because we're looking good. So pull out her keyblade. Yeah, yeah. All right, last one. We got to accessorize. We're gonna do a crown because everyone in chat has been amazing wherever you are. I hope you all have been having a good time. It's been awesome. I love the speedrun community. I especially love the Sega community. And there's no place like this but to get to show this off. So go ahead and complete this. First, we gotta brush her hair. This is the one that's kind of I'm not sure about because I did this one earlier and I could have sworn the brush did absolutely nothing. Wave our wand and hopefully we get the princess point. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It's not over. We're going to 100% this, everyone. And we're going to our next section. Snow White. So first, we got to clean the house. Okay. And Snow White, she doesn't really do any work, right? She just kind of has her animals do it for her. So we're going to go and tell the tortoise here. Put those plates over there. Poor Bambi, or Bambi's mother.
Hey, DB, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, yeah.
Do we want to throw up some Pico sound real quick? We
Oh,
actually
yeah, let me
got
do
the
that. Okay, my
Angular.
bad. Okay. Nice call, yeah. Still valid. Still valid because it was live here. Sorry about that. No sound. You missed all the good Disney sounds. Okay. Snow White's coming in. She's saying, hey, it's not done. Get back to work. And all the other critters get out of here. And this is actually one of the harder parts of the run. These little dust clouds, right? This raccoon here. Oh my gosh. Perfect RNG. Snow White, give me the prize. I did great. You can't take this away from me. Alright, Squirrel's up next. All Squirrel has to do is wipe up the gunk on the table. Throw down some magic, make it sparkly. That's the rule, right? Even if it's not related, wave the Keyblade, right? Alright, now 7 dwarves time. Gotta bake some cookies for these dwarves. They're hungry. They're the ones doing all the work. This one's actually pretty funny. You don't... you really just roll the pin. And then, I guess... Oh. There we go. Activated. And we're gonna do... Everyone gets small cookies. Those tariffs are really hurting the 7 dwarves, so... Little square cutlets for you. Alright. I think you can do plain cookies, but just to be safe, we're gonna go ahead and just do this. the laziest spread you've ever seen. But hey, these dwarves, they don't care. This is the first time they've eaten sweets in their life. And now, we collected all the princess points. We are crowned champions. But we have one final mission to do. That's right. We have to go to the gala one more time. The real gala. I guess the first one was a practice gala. I don't know if that's a thing. This one, you can choose outfits and stuff, but actually it doesn't matter. Because princesses are perfect just the way they are. And you can go ahead and just complete it. Wave your magic wand. And we're going to do this to get all the princess icons. And then we will have completed the game once we do our final dance. And turn the page. Here we go. Again, you can change the outfits if you are really so inclined to. You absolutely can. You can't have enough galas. Spread the sparkles, spread the sparkles. So as we're coming to a close here, I hope everyone, we showed off, 4 games, a bunch of peripherals and accessories for the system. I really feel that I kind of bought the Pico originally just kind of because the emulation wasn't working. I was going to run, but when I started to explore it, I realized there's actually a lot going on the system. Sorry, make sure we spark this. Got to make sure it glitters, right? And I hope today that I gave a good sampling of that for everyone. And I meant when I said, if you have questions, if you have special requests, definitely let me know in the comments. Let SegaCrew know if you want more. And if you want to determine what games are put on next year, I'm kind of just shoehorning myself in. But for the Sega Bina, I told all SegaCrew this anyway. I was going to do the Bina next year, so not really. But if you want to be a part of that and you want to determine what games get on there, definitely, come to my channel and just throw down you don't have to stay long. You just say, hey, I want to see X and X game, and I'll have a list of the Bina games that are going to be shown, and maybe I can put that up on Twitter as social media as well. But I actually really want to hear a lot of input, because a lot of the games for the Bina are actually, I would say a majority of them are made by Sega and produced by Sega. So there's a lot of options. We're going to advance. I thought we did this already. Uh-oh. But yeah, I'm looking forward to input. I'm always interested in finding about maybe some really obscure software for the system, and I'm always happy to be here at SEGATHON and just be around all the great runners and Sega fans who know so much about their games, and I have so much. It's always such an enjoyment to watch all the games, learn about the runs, all the obscure stuff, even Alf, especially Alf, actually. And this year we have Mickey, we have a bunch of Wireheads on, a bunch of FMV games from Sega. There's still so much that we haven't seen. And unfortunately, that is GG, right? That's the end of the event here. That is record for this game. So we'll do one last GG, and you can see the pen here. It's nice and thin and dainty. As it should be for the classy SEGATHON. I'm sure like I said, only a fraction was covered today, but I hope it inspired someone out there to at least look up and, at the bare minimum, appreciate Sega more. So thank you again for SEGATHON 7 for having me. I'll still be here at the event for now, but I hope that you all found this interesting. And if you did, the best thing you can do is, when the VOD is up, share and send this video to your friends and let them know about the hilarity and awesomeness and appeal of the Sega Pico. Thank you very much. My name has been DBcade. Take care and enjoy the Pico.